start this project, you will draw a polygonal curve, then revolve it to create the wineglass. Creasing will be used to sharpen some edges, and then you will extract geometry from the wineglass to create a shape that you will use to simulate the fluid. Finally, you will model, then position the bullet. So to start, we're going to set a project. So you should have downloaded the fluid lesson start directory from the website, renamed it fluid_lesson, and put it into the Houdini projects directory. So then you go set project, and you're going to get in your Houdini projects directory, and there's the fluid lesson, and you take the minus start away. Double click on here. Now the only things actually in here are a texture file that we can't see right now because we're not looking at texture files, but we will make use of that in a second. So we're going to call this Wineglass 01 and accept. And this is where we're going to start. So we're going to go here and we're going to press V, layout, and we're going to do from here do 4 views. So we can see the 4 views here, and then we can move your cursor over the front view here and go spacebar B. Now if we press D at this point, we can go to the background area here, and for the front view we're going to click on here, text, wineglass profile. Okay, so by default, the way this works is, there it is. It's been sized. It's designed not to work with the view changes, but we need to get certain settings right. So we're going to go image offset is 0.3, and we're going to go 0.26, 0.26. Now, once we have that, you can zoom out like this, and you can see that the grid we have here lines up with the points that we're putting on the wineglass. So this repositioning of this worked, and we can just close that. Now we're going to go to the polygon tool set here, and we're going to get per curve polygon. So this is basically a curve node that has polygons in it. Now the next thing we're going to do is we need to grid snap to get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to, from this menu, choose grid snapping. And we could click to turn on snapping, but instead what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and press X. And that allows us to snap to the grid there. Oh, we got to click again. So we click those two with the grid. Now let go of the X key. And now you don't have grid snapping on. So basically that's a volatile hotkey that allows you to temporarily turn it on. And we'll use it again in a minute. We're just going to go around and we're going to click around to use the dots on here as a guide and get the wineglass that we're looking for. And at any point you can press the space bar and move and continue working. As we go along, we click here, and we want these last 4 points to again use the grid snapping. So we press the X, press and hold the X key, and now we've got that again. So press and hold, and then enter. Now once you're finished, you can click on this edit button here, and if you just want to tweak some of these, you feel that they didn't quite go where you wanted them, you can make big edits if you want, or little edits, whatever you need. Okay, so let's go spacebar B. Spacebar B, we're going to bring up this curve in the 3D view here. Now we're going to go S to get the select tool. Now that is selected, and we're going to go on the model shelf and we're going to click on revolve. And what you see is we've now got a revolve shape. We're now in the curve object. You've got that revolved. You could also have chosen it from the C key, model, curves, and revolve is. Okay, so in this we're going to change the divisions to 16 just to give us a little more detail around the edge. And just down here, we don't really need to see the UVs on that, so we can turn that button to turn that off. Okay, so now we're going to go around and we're going to go select tool, and we're going to click here, and we're going to press the A key and middle click. Okay? And then we're going to tumble around, and we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to press Shift, Shift A, middle click, okay, and press delete. Now once you've done that, you put a hole on the two ends there, which is fine. We don't want points, polygons coming to a point like that, so we want to do it a slightly different way. So in the network view, we can just right click on here and we can go polyfill and enter. And what that does is that creates something here, and then we can go in and say quadrilateral grid, and that actually makes it nice like this. And if we want to, we can set the corner offset to 3. That just rotates where it is, lines it up with the axis a little bit better. And the tangent strength, maybe we go a little stronger with the tangent strength, and that just affects how it curves, which you would notice in there. So if that's 1, you notice that's flat bottom. But if we go, 3 is there. If we go with a flat bottom of 1, you see how it's flat there. So I mean, we could even go a little stronger if we wanted to get a nice round edge in there. So those are possibilities there. Now let's go W again so we can see this. Now what we want to do now is we want to press 3 to get edge selection. We're going to double click on this edge, shift double click on this edge, shift double click on here, shift double click on there. So we've got all 4 of those edges. We're going to go tab, crease, and once we have that, we're going to create a crease of 0.75, and that will not affect anything until we subdivide. So if we press 4, double click to select the whole thing, we can then go tab, subdivide, and we get in there and we get that subdivided. And if we go 2 in here, you'll see there's still a little bit of roundness on the edge there. If we had set the crease to, let's say, 10, it would be perfectly sharp, but by having 0.75, we get a little bit of roundness. So that's how you control subdivisions with crease. So now that we have that, we have our little network of building up this wine glass. We're going to right click on here and put null. Put a null down, and we're going to call this glass out. And we're going to use all caps because that's helpful, makes it easier to find these later on. And then if we go back up here, we can rename the object wine glass. So that's the initial part of our modeling exercise, which gives us the wine glass. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to double click on this and we're going to go modify, extract. And what this is going to do is pull the wine glass out into a separate object, and it's going to let us work with that object. If we want, we can hide the wine glass. Actually, we can leave the wine glass. That's sort of, so we go into here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go spacebar B, and we're going to, let's press 4, and we're going to select basically everything just past that first point. And we're going to press delete. Now, spacebar B. What you can see in here is you can see ghosted. That's the wine glass from the other object, and you can see that because of this here. You can show all objects, you can show hide other objects, or you can say ghost other objects. And when you do the ghost, you can still see it. So now we've got the inside and this outside here. We're going to let's go to select tool. We're going to double click on the outside part and press delete. And now we're just left with the inside part. Now, if we go and change this, and let's just hide other objects, we see that the blue is facing out here. So what we want to do is we want to press N, tab, reverse, and now the gray is coming out. So we just flip the normals on that. So that's good. Now we're going to go 3 to get edge selection, double click on here, and we're going to go tab, polyfill. Now, when we get that, we want to again use quadrilateral grid. That gives us a better thing there, and we're going to do a tangent strength of 0 because it's just going to be flat. So this creates a closed shape that we can use for our lesson. So we're going to right click on here, go null, and we're going to call this wine out, and set the display flag on there. And if we go back up to here, we're going to call this wine. So now we've got two objects. We've got the wine glass and the wine, and now what we want to do is create the bullet. So let's take these two and just hide them for now, and that will give us a chance to work on the bullet. So let's press C, create geometry, and we're going to go sphere. We're going to press enter. We're going to dive into this sphere object. We're going to go x-axis, which goes along the x-axis there. Spacebar G will allow us to look at this. We're going to go with a radius of 0.2, 0.125. Okay, that gives us what we want there. Now, once we have that, we can press N and go tab clip. And oh, it asks for the polygons again. Double click and press enter. So that clips it there, and we just want the direction to be 1, 0, 0, and that does what we want. Now we're going to press 3. We're going to do edge selection on here, and we're going to go C, model, polygons, poly extrude. We're going to do something called transform extruded front, and this allows us to work more in 3D space instead of the normals of the surface. So we're going to go this 0.04. So we're just bringing that out a little bit, and we're going to put a scale of 0.7, 0.7, 0.7. Okay, so that just brings that like that. Now we're going to go around to this edge. So I'm just going to go into here actually, and I'm just going to select all of those and delete. And then we're going to go, and we can go and add that here. And if we do that, we get this. Now, actually, I'm going to delete that for a second, and I'm just going to go right click there and go polyfill, and there's a thing called polyfill quad, and if we put that down, it sort of gives us what we want right away, although the tangent strengths may be a little strong. Okay, so that goes and does that the way that we want, and then we can, you know, if we really want to play with the offset, maybe a offset of 2 lines that up better. I don't know. 4. Okay, anyway, we've got that. So that what I brought here was actually something called a recipe, and the way that that was created was I took my normal polyfill and I went recipe and save selected item as a tool, and that created something called and then I named it polyfill. Sorry, that one there, I named it polyfill quad. And because I do this a lot, having that available means that I can get access to those settings more easily. But I've already done it, so we don't need to do it again, but we might use it later on. So let's add a subdivide into the end of the chain there, and set its depth to 2, and that's just going to give us a nice, really smooth geometry there. And then we're going to go right click null, and we'll set display on that, and we'll call that bullet out. Now when we go back to the object level, we can call this bullet. And what we want to do is let's bring back the wine glass. And what we want to do is we want to position this properly so that it's in the proper position back here. And we really want to go, let's say, -20 and 5, and that will line up. And if you go spacebar B, you can see the bullet right there sort of hitting smack dab in the middle. So that's a good position for the bullet that we will use going forward. Okay, so let's save our work and we probably should have saved it earlier, but Wineglass 01. And that goes into there. So these are the 3 beads of geometry that we're going to be using to do our simulation of the smashing wine glass, and we'll get right into that with the fracturing of the glass next. Okay, thanks a lot.